Hi, my name is Pendleton. I'm a two-time national champion from Oklahoma State University. Currently, I'm an assistant wrestling coach at the University of Wyoming. Today, we're going to cover the high crotch series with the Crackdown finishes. Today we're going to cover the high crotch takedown, basic setups and basic finishes with an emphasis on the crackdown position. My partner Shane Doofman was a graduate assistant for us this year. He's going to be assisting me in showing the moves. Okay, the first one we're going to go into is just getting into our basic positions with our hands. First one we're going to go to is a basic post high crotch. Okay, me and my partner, I break down. What I'm going to do to get this guy's hand on my head is I'm gonna lead with my opposite hand, my lead leg. I'm gonna come to a collar tie here to get that first initial contact here. I wanna be very careful about reaching up with my lead leg hand. So I make my first contact here, his hand comes up. All I'm gonna do is just switch hands. Right hand comes to the inside to the head, inside hand, inside armpit. Right here to snap. Making sure I'm heavy on my hands so I can get him to get that reaching motion. Once I get that reaching motion, inside hand changes, releases, post above the elbow, change levels with my knee to better help myself penetrate. From here, one of the common things that a lot of young guys do is they take that back step on their penetration shot. Here, step back, creating more distance. What I want to do, as I change levels and I post, I want to step into it, close the gap. Here, attacking at the back of the knee slide in, right to a good solid position. One of the things I like to teach is this rule 3 right here. 1, 2, 3. 3 legs all in a row. Hips in, head up. Okay? So that's the post high crotch. Basic, easy, probably one of the easiest takedowns to teach. Second one, what we're going to do is we're going to go off of him coming to my head. We're going to go to the elbow control right here. So my partner ties up here, collar ties on my head. Instantly I go in and take elbow control. When I take my elbow control, I push this arm in here and position my head, forehead to forehead, forehead to opposite side. I don't ever put my forehead right in this collar right here, because now when I change levels, that shoulder's just gonna follow me down, okay? So I want forehead to forehead to create that space so I don't get jammed in here. First thing we're gonna do off the elbow is just a simple elbow pass right here. He collar ties, I position my forehead. All I'm doing is I'm just dropping my head and I'm going to make an upside down U with his elbow, rotating over the top of the back of my head here as I move my feet to the side. Okay? Passing it, dropping my head, moving my feet to the side to create that angle here. Now, what I'm going to do as I pass and I push that elbow to the side, I'm going to shoot my free hand to the back of the leg. But I have to be conscious of if I just let go of this elbow and shoot in there, he's just going to down block right into me. Okay? If I don't keep this elbow under control and just try to shoot in, I'm going to be shooting through his arms. So when I pass that elbow, I use my hand to keep it pushed to the side. As I make that X we were talking about with my arms, shooting across that body here. Penetrating in, head up, chest up, hips in, 3 in a row, right here. Okay, good strong position. And finally, a little bit more advanced is going to be going off the elbow to our, it's almost like a duck under situation here. Elbow control, he comes the collar tie, maybe gets in a little tighter than normal. All I'm going to do, rotate my head to a good position. When I say rotate my head, I'm taking the back of my head and coming right underneath his face to kind of create that space. Going to that free side here. As I come through here, it's almost that same motion like shooting a bow and arrow, turning my shoulders, chest goes out to the side. Here, squatting down, changing levels, pull, 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 coming through. Stepping our trail leg up, 3 in a row, head up, chest up. Those were basic setups to get to the high crotch position. Pretty much this is where we want to be. But for the more advanced stages of wrestling, a simple change off the 2 is not always going to work. Guys are getting better defensively, guys are getting better scrambling, putting us into bad positions. Knowing how to wrestle out of these positions can lead to big gains, can lead to getting back points and falls from our neutral position, okay? So the basic change off that we want to do here, once we get to our high crotch position, is just coming up, changing off across to a double leg, driving off our trail leg to our scoring position. But as you'll find, a lot of guys are now sitting to their hip, jumping over, trying to find our ankles, blocking our elbow, where we can't go to change off, putting us in bad positions. Here, go ahead and score, Doothman. Hip heisting up, coming around. So what we have to realize is not to be afraid of these positions, just knowing how to beat it. Good technique will beat good scrambling any day. So moving into this crackdown position, what we're going to do is this. First, how do we put this guy in the crackdown position where I can't change off the 2? He's forcing me to go low. All I'm going to do is this trail leg is going to go back to the original position off the shot, back behind my body. My head and chest and my arms are going to drop and swivel down his leg, and my attack hand, the inside hand, the palm of it is going to go to the outside of his foot here. So my trail leg's going back, arms swiveling down this leg here. Okay, we're in our crackdown position. Trail leg goes back, arms swiveling down the leg, taking the outside of my hand to the outside of his foot, right here. Head and chest, moving down, swiveling. From right here, notice my knee, my shoulder is in this knee joint, okay? And my hand and forearm are blocking his foot. So I'm gonna use just a little lever to make him go down here, driving my shoulder right into that knee to sit into that hip here, okay? Now, when I'm in this position, when I land, one thing that I want my shoulder right here, I want it deep in the crook of this knee right here. I don't want it shallow where he can come up to his knees, hip heist, and put himself in a better position. I want it deep here. My knees, I want pinched together. Okay, we're going to cover a lot of different finishes based on his reactions, but for right now, basic, I don't want him locking in my crotch or rolling me through, so my knees are pinched together. Elbows in tight, right here, in between his legs. Safe and secure position, okay? Especially collegiately where we don't have to worry about exposure on the back. So one more time, how to getting into that position. We're in. He's blocking my elbow. I can't get my change off. Trail leg goes back, swiveling down his leg, setting him right to his hip here. Everything's nice and tight. Shoulder deep, knees together, elbows pinched in. The first finish we're going to do isn't going to be him reacting. It's me beating him to the punch. It's trying to get that fall position. This is going to be a basic swim for the head off the crackdown position. Okay, so we get to the crackdown position. Now I'm anticipating him going down. I know where he's going to be. As he sits, as I sit him here, before he has an opportunity to react or scramble out of it, I'm turning my back to the mat, stomach to the ceiling, widening my legs so I can turn my shoulders and get the maximum reach I can. I don't want to go reaching from that head here, okay, for a couple reasons. He catches my arm, I lose a little bit of my power, and right here, he keeps his head away. If I don't have my shoulders completely turned, I'm not going to be able to get the maximum distance I want. When I turn my hips, my shoulders get turned, now I can reach. Even if he's keeping his head away, I got a bigger reach. Okay? Right off the crackdown, I sit him here, turn my hips, turn my shoulders, looking to swim for that head. Once I find this head here, okay, once I hook, my outside leg is going to take a big step. I'm going to my tripod position here. Okay, once I get to my tripod position, all I do is take my butt to my heels and sag back, finding myself in my cradle position here. Now I can take him over and look for the fall. I find that the swim position for the crackdown will lead most of the time to that fall if you get the head. Maybe a couple times you might have to end up pushing off the head to go away from his body just so you can secure the takedown. You get to this position here, I hook the head. For whatever reason, I'm not able to power through this. All I'm gonna do is change my hand from hooking on the head to posting on his, whatever I can find, his face, chest, neck, whatever I can. But everything's just gonna be the same. I'm gonna take my big hip heist, big step, push away, and as I go to push away, I'm elevating that leg that I have up, crowding into him, securing the takedown. But most importantly, I'm initiating everything. I'm not waiting for a reaction from my partner. I'm not waiting for him to put me in a bad position. The second finish that we're gonna do from this crackdown series is just crowding into him, okay? Putting him at a position that he feels threatened, feels exposed, kind of making him bail out of the situation. From here, I need my partner to be good though. I need him to give me a reaction. You know, there's going to be a lot of different reactions that he can give you. He can lock in your crotch, around the waist, grab your ankles, lock in the crotch. We're going to cover most of those, but the most important part is telling our opponent what we want him to do. Well, in practice, telling him what we want him to do. Okay, so for this purpose right here, when I hit the crackdown, I'm going to have my opponent lock around my waist, okay? You're going to see this most common in freestyle when they're trying to expose us over for two. So I put my opponent into the crackdown position. He locks at my waist right here, all right? Now, I don't have my swim option available to me anymore. Okay, I got to go to a secondary finish. So from here, what we're going to do is crowding into him. My attack hand, the one that's deep, okay, I'm going to turn it from being up here to snaking it down the leg. Notice how I start lifting my hips up to get the space I need here to snake down along the leg. All right, my free hand's going to go in and I'm pushing this leg in. I want it almost to be all the way up on my inside hip here, okay? Where now I have that leg elevated, hooked with my arm, I can start sliding my inside knee underneath it where I have it shelved on my leg. So he's keeping that lock. He's still going to be pressuring me that way, trying to get me to go over my head where he can hip heist. So I'm using my post hand to hold that off, elevating, shelving in. Now I just start walking underneath that leg, nice and slow. Okay, Again, from another angle, I'm here, I post, free hand snaking down the leg, inside leg, underneath, just start walking over. Now, a lot of times the guy will hold on for dear life, trying to get a stalemate position. These are the times that we start looking to catch him to his back. Another finish that we're gonna work on is hooking the leg, trying to almost like the crowd position, except this time, all we're trying to do is work our free hand out so we can secure the far leg, and most referees will give you two once you secure that far leg and he's flat on his bottom. Okay, so we're here, he's locked, especially really nice and tight. We're now, this hand, stay tight on me, partner. Okay, this hand, I'm trying to get it out. He's staying nice and tight, okay? Looking to stalemate me, looking to take me over my head that way. I need to get this free hand out. So what I'm gonna do is, again, inside leg or inside arm, snaking down to the leg. Here, where I get his foot off the mat. Now, what I'm gonna do is my inside leg, I'm gonna take it, I'm gonna scoop underneath. Okay, especially if he's trying to keep that leg away from me, tuck it under your butt. Okay, I'm gonna use my inside knee to scoop it here, drive it all the way in between my legs now where I have it pinched. I'm sitting flat on my inside hip, still not able to clear my arm yet. Once I get this leg scooped up and hooked, right here, I'm gonna take a step back, let it out of the trap between my legs, go to the bottom of the foot here and hook. Grab that foot right on the sole. Now, straightening it, elevating again with the goal of putting it on my inside or my outside hip right here in a shelf position. Step up, shelved it. Now, what I can do is this is taking a lot of the weight off my hands. It's allowing me a little more flexibility to work. I'm gonna go to my tripod position, post off, start driving back, shaking off. Here, shaking off, shaking off, shaking off. Where now I got enough space, I can get my arm out, secure the takedown. Okay, but from here, we're gonna be greedy. I'm keeping the legs split, start crowding into them here. Legs up high, working our Turk positions. Under the chin, under the armpit, hook. Start looking to take him to his back, stepping our legs up, looking for the exposure. And doing this is all going to be about repetition, knowing right when I hit, identifying what he's doing, what I need to do. Okay, I feel I can't change off, I feel in a bad position, I know immediately that I have to hook this leg. Okay, here, I'm in, he's nice and tight on me, stepping up, hook. All I'm doing is scooping that leg. Right here, in between, is trapped, big step back, hand goes to the sole of the foot, elevating it up right onto our tripod. We're now, and you'll find sometimes, especially if you have a clingy guy, you're gonna really have to tripod hard and really shake him off. And just be prepared, the moment that he feels himself falling off, he's gonna belly out. So we're sliding right back up, keeping our knees high, where now we can expose. The next position that we're gonna cover in the crackdown is when he's hooked around our waist and we don't feel like we can crowd into him or we can hook his leg. A lot of times he's keeping his ankles kind of tucked under, his head's real high. So what we're gonna go into our jumping over position. Okay, so it looks a little bit riskier, but you do everything right, this is the position that you most likely will get the most amount of near fall points out of. Looking for your Turks, looking for our scrambles. Okay, we're in here, he's wrapped around our waist again. Okay, real high. Now, what we're gonna do is I'm gonna shift my hips to the outside, using my leg as leverage so he can't drive me over my head. From here, what I'm gonna do is I gotta hook this elbow. So I'm reaching up way high over the top and hooking on the arm to pinch him in, okay? Now our goal is to get him on his back so we can jump over. A lot of younger wrestlers will make the mistake when they see this jump position, they think that if this guy's head and chest are up, I can just jump no matter what. Reality is, when his head and chest is up, the moment I leave my feet, now he's controlling the position here. He can shift and move me and put me where he wants me to be, where he's strong. In order to successfully jump over his head, I have to take control of the position and put him in danger. So what I'm gonna do, as I hook this arm, my free hand once again, gonna snake down the leg here towards his ankle. I'm going to my tripod position, walking my feet out, elevating. The moment his head and chest go low, now he's losing a lot of his power and strength that he's gonna use to move me. Now I can move him, okay? Once we get here, we're gonna jump, but we're not gonna jump 2 feet at a time because I don't wanna get my feet off the ground. The moment my feet come off the ground, he's gonna feel a lot less pressure. So I'm gonna jump 1 foot at a time here. 1 foot at a time. Where now I'm in a good position. I'm across his body, I'm controlling his legs, my head and chest are up. Whoop. All right, so once again, I get in this position, I hook, tripod, elevate the foot, pull down at the elbow, get his head and chest down, where now I can jump 1 foot at a time, all the way over, across his body. From here, I want to post my hands and keep my head and chest high. Most of the time in scramble positions, the person that has his head and chest higher will win the scramble. Okay, I don't want to be down here still fighting with everything. My head and chest are going to be high. Now, a good guy is not going to stay here. He's going to end up reacting, moving different ways. So the first thing that we're going to do is just a simple, Shane's going to try to take his arms and roll into me here. Rolling into me here. All I'm going to do is bottom leg hip heist. My bottom leg is going over my opposite leg, coming right underneath, where I can hip heist to his head, looking to come over and catch, okay? A lot of times when he's rolling into us, he's just worried about bellying down here. So all I'm doing is bottom leg hip heist, looking to hopefully try to catch him on the back in the Turk, take a wrist control, anything to get him in a good position. Second position is he starts to roll away from me here. All I'm gonna do is just I'm gonna cinch at the elbows, okay? Right here. He starts rolling away, just cinch at the elbows, looking to secure, locking my hands into place. Here, okay? A lot of times this happens when a guy's trying to roll me back and forth, but he's not having any success here. He'll start getting desperate, start rolling away, just cinch, catch, look to hold. Finally, and this is probably the best one for a lot of younger wrestlers, is just simply turning into the legs here. Hip heisting the other way, looking to turn into our legs, get to our double leg position here, okay? So my head and chest are high. I feel the legs right there, turning, looking to catch here. From this position though, I'm thinking back points, I'm being greedy. I'm looking to turn in, split the legs, inside leg coming through, right to our Turk position. He's bellying down. Okay, as he bellies down, I have to realize that the only way for him to get out of this Turk position is to slide this knee under my belly here so he can get to it, so he can get to his stomach. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna turn my inside hip and drive it right into his stomach before he can start fighting this knee through. Inside hip, turn right to his stomach. From here, all I'm thinking about, taking the bottom of my foot to the ceiling, driving across these hips, turning it over, turning over, turning over. A lot of times when we get in these positions, we'll start focusing too much on the head and face, thinking about the shoulders scoring the near fall points. When we turn his hips over, when I get his hips turned over on this Turk, watch what happens with his shoulders. I won't even use my hands. Just driving right into him, I turn his shoulders with his hips. Okay, so obviously I am going to use my arms, but my focus is on turning the hips, taking my foot to the ceiling, coming right across his hips here, where I can cinch it up, get my near fall points. Okay, 3 different finishes to that one little position right there. The last one we're going to cover from the Crackdown, when he's wrapped around our waist, is just going to be the hook and roll. Okay, never know when you're going to be down by 4 or 5 points and you need to take the guy to his back. It's always nice to have this in the bag. Okay, so we're in here. He's locked around our waist again. Okay, he's really a little squirrely. I find that your taller, lankier wrestlers are actually easier to do this move to. Okay, everything's going to go the same set where I'm coming back, hooking the elbow. Inside hand, still going down to the capturing the ankle where I can elevate here. Okay, instead of going to our tripod position to look to jump, all I'm doing is this inside leg here. Once I get to the tripod and I have that foot up and really want to straighten this leg, all I'm going to do is this inside leg. I'm just going to step back, almost like we're going through our neck bridge drills. I'll just take a big step, and as I step, I'm taking this foot with me. Big step all the way through, where now I'm going to go right to my bottom, arms still hooked, legs still hooked, head and chest up. Right here, looking for the fall. Okay, we're in again. Hooking the elbow, hand goes down to the ankle, right to our tripod position. Big step with our inside leg, going right, sitting right to our butt. Taking this foot, pulling it down as far as we possibly can. Right here, looking to secure the fall, get a touch fall in freestyle, whatever we need to do. Okay, but a lot of times we'll find that trying to control an arm, a lot of times we'll find trying to control a leg just using our arm isn't going to be enough, and sometimes we find ourselves rolling through. So as I step, I hook, hand goes down to the ankle, big back step all the way through. As I step, I'm aware that he's going to be kicking and trying to roll us through. So if I find myself rolling through, all I'm doing is going with the momentum right to our double leg position. Okay, one more time, a little bit more at full speed so you can see what it kind of looks like. We're in here, we hit. Okay, I go, I hook, I'm looking to roll, I miss, I'm just going to go with the momentum. Driving our shoulder into his stomach, head and chest up, staying greedy, looking to split his legs, back to our Turk position. We're going to switch to defensive positions from the Crackdown. Pretty much most of the stuff we've been working is going to be the most common things going around your chest. Not too many times are you going to see an opponent go to our head defensively from that position, because he's going to have to worry about staying secure, okay? And going around your chest and your midsection is the tightest lock that you can get. If he goes around our neck in this Crackdown position, you know, there's really nothing for him to stop me, okay? He doesn't really have anything to threaten me with. If we find ourselves in this position, all we're going to basically do is just go to our fireman's position. Coming up, hooking the arm, tripod up, look to expose him right here. Once I start feeling the lock getting loose, all I'm going to do, drop my butt to my heels, sag back. Like I said, you're really not going to see that position too many times because it's just not a secure position for him. The next position we're going to cover is more freestyle, but it definitely has its applications in collegiate wrestling, and that's going to be locking in the crotch. Okay. Defensively, what our opponent's thinking is when Shane's going to get in on me real quick. When he puts us in this crackdown position here, okay, what he's thinking is what we were talking about earlier, is he wants to beat the shoulder that's in under the leg, okay? When his shoulder's in here, he's nice and secure, he's in a safe position, everything's tight, pinched in, but watch what happens as he cracks me down and I can slip that shoulder out as I lock in the crotch. Now I can put him in a danger position, okay? Just using this crotch lift, I'm gonna drive him through. I can hook the leg, post my hand, come up, freestyle. I can expose him, rolling him through, getting our 2-point exposures. There's a lot of bad things that can happen if you let that shoulder slip, especially when he's locked in the crotch. So just keep that in mind as we go through these moves, is how important not letting that shoulder out can be. Okay, so right now we're in our crackdown position. My opponent's locked in my crotch here. All right. Now, I got my shoulder in good. He's locked in our crotch. Turn our hips up, inside arm, coming all the way through where we can turn our shoulders. Once we get to this position right here, we're just gonna grab right on like our fireman lock, use our lower body to extend our core, upper body, break the lock. Once we have that lock broke, all I'm gonna do is hip heist again, big step to our tripod, looking to expose him, sit our butt to our heels, looking to catch him right on his back again. Right here. Another one when we're in here and he's locked in our crotch, we're in our crackdown position right here. Okay, this is a little bit more for the flexible guys. All we're gonna do is we're gonna post our hand, forehead comes to mat right here. All right, what I gotta be conscious of is not letting him get the angle to go around, not letting him start sliding up. So what I'm gonna do, as I step high, I'm raising my butt up and I'm stepping over this leg that's gonna be this leg's gonna be sneaking in here to kind of try to get behind me, try to hook my ankle. So I raise my butt up, I step this leg up high, all the way over to the outside of his leg. From here, stepping my inside leg now, all the way over, putting him back into more of a scrambling position. Notice again what we talked about with our head and chest and all these positions. I'm changing his head and chest being high to my head and chest being high. I have his legs split. He's going to be feeling in danger. He's going to be looking to scramble. From here, making sure that whenever he's locked in my crotch like he is, making sure that my hips and my butt are on the mat. Like the little kids when they say dead weight and they just go limp. I want my hips and my body flat on the mat. I want this to all be dead weight. When my hips are up on his chest now it's not dead weight. Now he has control. He can move me around. So whenever I do anything like this, make sure we keep everything flat on the mat. From here, keep isolating one leg, straightening it out, hooking right here, testing that flexibility. As he starts to realize he's in trouble, he's going to be looking to get to his belly, roll through. Inside arm starts coming out, looking to catch him again. Keeping the leg split, our Turk positions. He starts rolling away. I can come under, hook. He starts rolling into me. Right back to our Turk position, hips in, looking to turn him. Remember, keeping our hip in, foot to the mat, driving across the hips, under the head. Some of the problem areas that we can get into on the crackdown position with him being in our crotch are going to be two things. It's going to be him beating our shoulder or him cutting the corner on us. Okay? First thing what I mean by cutting the corner is Shane puts me into the position, the crackdown, right here. I'm starting to get behind him, right here. I got the shoulder beat. I'm starting to kind of get to our position. So what we're going to do, I'm going to show you how to avoid that and wrestle through it, because no matter what, you're going to find yourselves in awkward situations. But the key for scrambling, to beat a good scrambler in those awkward situations, is not to freeze, not to try to hold the position to a stalemate. It's wrestling through those situations. That's how we're going to beat, a guy that might be a little bit better than us in the position. All right, so we get in here. He starts beating my shoulder, looking to come around. Okay? Instead of holding the position, I'm going to wrestle through it. So as I start feeling him get to his knees here, I'm going to come to my knees right here. And the moment I start feeling that pressure come off my shoulder, my elbow's going high up here. Okay? So he starts stepping up on his knees. I come to my knees, shoot my knees under my chest, use my free hand, and I'm taking my inside elbow right to the ceiling here. He's beat my shoulder, knees come up, elbow to the ceiling, stepping my inside leg up high. I can hook, I can isolate the bottom leg, or what I can do is I can come underneath. I'm going to drop my shoulder, change my knees. So my right knee's going down, my left knee's going up as I change this position here. Looking to take my head from the inside, rolling all the way across to the outside, getting into our Turk positions right here. From here, elbow stays deep. Left hand's gonna come up and hook on the shoulders right here. Left hand comes hook to the shoulders. And now I'm gonna run my inside hip right to his head. Okay, my partner's trying to flatten out. I'm gonna take my inside hip as I hook on this shoulder, and I'm gonna run it right into his head, looking to cover here, keeping these legs split with my arms. That's what we're gonna try to do when we feel our opponent beat the corner. Wrestle through the position, don't hold the stalemate. Now, the second one we're gonna do is he gets us completely flattened out. He's got a lot of pressure. He's got this shoulder beat here. Okay? I'm in on this crackdown position. He's really pushing me through here, where now I don't feel like I can drop my hips back to my ankles here. He's got me beat. What I need to do is I need to power through with my inside arm. I'm going to straighten it. I'm not even worried about hooking this arm anymore, okay? If I feel like I want to lose it, I can always come back with my post hand. But I have to get my hips back and get my shoulder back to a good position here. So watch what happens as he's driving me, and I post my hand and start sliding out, almost going into a Superman kind of pose. I'm going to get my shoulder low, where now I'm not beat anymore. From here, where we're going to have to beat him now is I can't come up. There's too much pressure on my shoulder. He weighs too much, too strong, whatever reason. What I need to do is I need to take this foot and get my head underneath the foot here. Once I get my head underneath the foot, and still I'm not going to have enough leverage, enough strength to take my head and chest up. So what I have to do is use my lower body. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to scissor my legs, sit my legs through, okay? So I can actually have the strength to get my head and chest up. So when I scissor my legs, now I can use my head and my arms to get my head up out of the danger position. Once we're here, what we're going to do is we have to turn it to a single leg position. Notice the whole time I'm still wrestling. He's still going to be fighting me, putting me in position. I still don't stop and hold. Once I get head and chest up and my hips are underneath me, I'm going to change my hands. The hand that's posting behind me, the one that I use to help push me up, I'm going to switch to the foot. From here, my hand that's on the foot is going to become my post because I'm finishing the move going that way, turning into him here. Okay? Not dropping down to the mat, keeping my head and chest up high. Remember what we talked about with the rules of scrambling? The higher your chest, head and chest, the better. I'm going to keep my head and chest up high, turn to my single leg finish here. All right? Real quickly, I'm going to let Doofman get into the position so you can kind of get a little bit of a different look. I'm driving him over. I got the shoulder beat. He needs to get that inside hand straight, 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 straight. His whole body, I want to go straight as I possibly can. Now he's in a better situation where he can get his head underneath and scissor his legs. Scissor all the way to his bottom. From here, know that a good competitor is going to scramble, going to keep the fight going. So when he starts turning, I'm still wrestling, looking to finish the position. Now he's in a single leg. He can crawl up. But all these positions become available because we don't stop. We don't look to stalemate the position. We don't look for an easy out. Wrestling through the position will get us where we want to be. The crackdown situation isn't for everybody. Some people just aren't comfortable in scrambling situations. So we're going to cover a couple other secondary finishes from the high crotch when we can't have our basic change off the two. Okay, the first one that we're going to cover is just a simple knee slide. All right, he's hunched over. He's really got me nice and tight where I can't finish. All I'm going to do is what I need to do is I need to change my levels and almost disappear underneath him. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to drop to 2 knees and lower my levels here. Okay? What happens here when I do that is I get the separation and the space that I need to wrestle out of. Okay? Everything's really nice and tight here. I don't feel anything. Dropping to 2 knees, changing my levels, disappearing right out from underneath him here. Once I get here, the hand that's posted is just going to come straight up, almost that old school high crotch motion here, where I can get him up off his feet. Okay? Once I get him off his feet, inside hand isolates the bottom leg, set him right to his here. Notice that I'm really doing a number trying to keep this leg straightened out because more likely he's going to be keeping it tucked underneath. All right? So what I'm going to use both hands to pull that leg. So even if he's keeping it tucked, I use both hands to pull that leg straight where I can reach up with my outside leg and hook. Okay, once I get to this hook position, I need to start working my inside arm out. Okay, the hand that's trapped in between, I don't think there's any way that I'm going to be able to get this arm underneath this leg to secure the two. So I'm taking my arm out here, outside, posting my hand here. Once I have it posted, okay, don't get in too much of a hurry to come up to take the pressure off because he can kind of squirt out there, sit up himself. I'm going to start elevating this foot, getting his hips up high again. Notice what I'm doing right here, keeping that separated. Because the moment that he starts to decide that I won this situation, he's going to start thinking about protecting his back, making it back to his base. So the moment I start feeling him bellying out, inside hip turns, hip to hip, head and chest up, looking to start elevating our bottom foot, driving across, right back to the Turk situations. But this all happened because I continued to wrestle through the position when he had me stuffed. He had me where I couldn't. I didn't feel like I wanted to go crack down. 2 knees, change levels right here. Really pay attention to this shoulder right here. Watch what happens. I'm going to stay a little bit looser so you guys can see when I go down to 2 knees and change levels. Okay, watch what happens to my shoulder. See that space that's there? That's what I'm going to be able to use to pop him up and put him on my shoulders here. Okay? Now, say you don't want to isolate the bottom leg, that's fine. Once I got him here, he's kind of at my mercy. I'm going to drop my arm, my inside arm straight down, look to come across right here. Okay? Now I know you might be thinking, well, why don't you just do that to begin with? Like I said, different level of wrestling, different level of scrambling. You know, a good scrambler not going to give me that space that I need to drop my arm and change off the 2. I will have to isolate at the bottom. We've covered 2 alternative finishes to the high crotch with our crackdown, and the last one we just showed. We're going to go over another one where we're going to come to our feet. I find that upper weight wrestlers are a little bit more comfortable using that power and explosion to finish, which is fine. From here, everything's staying the same. You know, perfect world, we change off the 2, finish every time. This guy's blocking our arm, we can't get that corner that we need. All I'm going to do is I'm going to keep my arm straight, head, chest up. Remember rule 3, from here, really pay attention to my feet. I'm just going to pivot, keeping my hips in. Everything's going to pivot. The trail leg's going to step up here, and I'm going to pivot on my knee across the body, right here. Step and pivot at the same time. My arms are going to stay straight, okay? Tendency is going to be to pull that leg in right here. We're going to have more power with our arms straight. So I step up, pivot, and I'm going to keep my arms straight. I'm going to come right almost into my square stance position here with my arms straight, letting this lock come from where it started off in the knees to when I pivot and I step up. This lock's going to slide right up into the crotch where now I have a better handhold. I'm going to use my hips to pop in, put them in the air. Okay, but I find the key to that is understanding that the strongest part of the wrestler is going to be the hips, not the arms. Letting that lock slide from the knee to the crotch. Okay, so we stopped, can't change off the 2, stepping up, pivoting, letting the lock slide all the way up to the crotch here. Popping our hips in, putting them in the air for the finish. I think that's going to finish off